Okay, I'm going to give you some tricks right now that's going to help you whenever you see fractions and decimals. Hopefully you all know how to work these. You've been working it before you got into algebra, but I know sometimes fractions and decimals just start to freak us out. Well, there's a way we can erase them and totally get rid of them. And I'm going to show you some tricks how to do this right now. So when you get to these challenge problems, you might learn something and go, oh, I totally understand this. And then all of a sudden they do a fraction or they do a decimal and now you're completely lost. Let me help you with that, okay? Well, as soon as I see a denominator, now my brain freaks out and I go, what am I going to do with that? Well, you can do anything to any part of this problem as long as you do it to all three of them. So the way I can do this, let's just go back to, I don't know, third grade math or whenever you learn this. If I have, say, 2/3 and I multiply that by 3, well, that's like 3 over 1, okay? And I know that these cancel out, and my answer is going to be 2. Okay, that's just something that I've learned. So I know that if, once I see a denominator, if I multiply a fraction by the denominator, I'm going to win. It's going to go away. So if I take the entire thing, and I'm allowed to do it, but it's got to be all of them, all three of them. You can't just do him. You can't just do him. You can't just do both of those. You have to do all three terms in the equation. I'm going to multiply it all by 3. And watch what happens. These 3's are going to cancel out, and I'm going to be left with 2x. These 3 are going to cancel out, and I'm going to be left with that equals, and then I've got to do 3 times 7. Don't forget this one. Remember, we're going to do all 3 of them. 3 times 7 is 21. Now, does that problem look a little more fun to deal with than that? The answer is probably. So whenever you have a fraction, just multiply by the number on the bottom. Now, let's make this even trickier, okay? So I won't make you watch me erase it, so let's go ahead and erase and change it together. Whee! Okay, let's look at this one. Ooh, this one's a little bit uglier, okay? I've got a 4, a 2, and an 8, so I've got all 3 of these on bottom. Well, back when you were learning fractions, I'm just going to make this look a little prettier, okay? You learned something called the kind of the least common multiple. What's the smallest number that 4, 2, and 8 will all go into, okay? Well, always take the largest number and see if everybody will go in. Well, the largest number is 8. 8 will go into 8. Will 2 go into 8? Uh-huh. Will 4 go into 8? Uh-huh. That's really, really good. So let's just go ahead and multiply this whole thing by 8, and that'll get rid of all of them. Let's start with this one right here. Okay, 4 cancels out, and that 8 now turns into a 2. Well, when I multiply here, the 2 times 3, that's going to give me a 6x. Okay, now let's ignore this, and let's make this go back to an 8. Now I'm going to do this one right here. 2 and 8. 2 goes in once, 2 goes into 8 4 times. So now I'm going to go 4 times 5, and that's going to be plus 20x. Done. And now I'm going to do the 8 and the 8. Well, they just cancel out, and I'm just left with 7. Okay, so hopefully by using some of these tricks, you can take a look at these fraction problems that freak you out, and they won't hurt you anymore. Actually, let me do one more, because there is one more. Let me just wipe this real quick. All right, so I have a new problem up here. Now I'm in trouble because I can't think of a number that 3 will go into and 7 will go into, and this is just a 1 at the end. So what do? When you get in that situation, all you do is start with that 7. There's a couple ways to do this. Take the 7. Will 3 go into 7? No. Do another multiple. 14. Will 3 go into 14? No. Do another multiple. 21. Will 3 go into 21? Yes, it will. Now, the other thing is obviously just to multiply them together. The reason why you do that thing I just showed you is you might come up to a number before multiplying them together, and now your numbers can be a little smaller, which is fine. If your numbers are really big, that's okay. You'll still get the right answer, just the numbers will be uglier. So on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everybody by 21, okay, by multiplying the 7 and 3 together. Now watch what happens to the problem. 7 goes in there once, 7 goes in here 3 times, so I'm going to be left with 9x. Minus, now we're going to do this all over again. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 21 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. But don't forget to also do it to the third one. And I'm going to have 21 times 6. Let's just go off on the side. 21 times 6, that's 126. Okay? So if you do that problem, you no longer have to do fractions. And that's how you get rid of denominators. Really quick, let me show you something with decimals, okay? Okay, let's do this problem. 0.3 plus 2.7 equals 95. Okay, these decimals make me freak out the second I see them. Well, here's the deal. You're always allowed to move decimal places the same amount on all three of them. What you're really doing is you're multiplying by 10. If I multiply everybody by 10, I just move the decimal over one place. Now, if I want to move it over two places, I have to multiply by 100. If I need to multiply by 3, I have to multiply by 1,000, okay? But essentially, I'm allowed to do this. I just want to move him over once and I'm happy. I want to move him over once and I'm happy. I don't need to move him at all. But if I move him and I move him, I've got to move him too. So you have to do it to all three of them. So this just becomes 3x plus 27 equals, here's my 9,5, but I need it to go over one more, so I need to place a 0 there as a holder, and that becomes 950. You're allowed to do that. That's okay. Now let me show you one more and we'll be done with this. Okay, let's look at this one. Now on this one, I want to move this decimal place over 2 spaces so I don't have a decimal. So that means I'm going to have to move him over 2 spaces, which means I have to add a 0. And I want to move, there's a decimal there, I need to move him over 2 spaces, so I need 2 more zeros there. Okay, you can always add zeros at the end and without changing the problem. So on this one, because I needed to move him twice, I have 321x plus, I had to move him over twice, so he becomes 850. And the 2, I have to move him over twice, he's going to become 200. Okay, so the numbers are bigger and weirder, but that's okay. You don't have your decimals anymore if that was something that, made you freak out, okay? So there's a way to get rid of decimals. There's a way to get rid of fractions. I hope this helps you. And when I go over problems in the future, you're going to see me doing things like this to make them a little easier. Now you know why I did this by watching this video. Okay? Have fun.